Hey guys, welcome to Coming of Age. This is Chase Cummins, one of your hosts. We have a great episode for you this week on the movie Captain Ron. We're joined by the lovely Dena Vaughn and Jordan Kady. Now you may recognize Jordan's voice from the Cook the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover episode, or from our Legion episodes. But this week we ran into a little technical problem, and the introductions that we recorded with the guests were corrupted, and we couldn't schedule all of us to be back together to re-record that. So this is going to be the introduction for them and for the entire episode, and it picks up pretty early on in our conversation, and you get the entirety of us talking about Captain Ron. We discussed little things, RuPaul's Drag Race again being one of them, but we hope you enjoy, and we are excited for you to get to listen to this. This was a great conversation. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to get underway. Everyone can find their seats and remember to enjoy the show. Thank you.
Well, I watched the trailer, the full trailer for Pooh, for fucking Christopher Robin. Still scary as fucking shit. Like, Pooh looks so fucking scary. Eeyore's alright, but like Pooh looks like an old ass fucking shitty scary bear.
I think it's supposed to look like a ratty bear.
He is old.
Well, he looks scary.
Yeah, but he looks like he'll crawl off from under your bed and suffocate.
Like, he looks like his
sleep.
face.
No, I know. He looks
His
like a
face
Sour
will
Patch
sink
Kid.
in and like a spider will crawl out.
Whatever. I love him.
And then it
It's
turns
the
into a
little
David
beady eyes,
Lynch
and
movie.
they're too far apart or
Because
too
he's
close together.
timeless.
One of those.
He's been carrying him around forever. How do you want him to look?
Not so uncanny.
A little close for the cartoon, please.
If it was just the cartoon animations with Ewan McGregor, that would have worked for
I'd
me.
be in.
Honestly, that whole entire movie
Hand-drawn.
would just make me fucking laugh. Just because it's Ewan McGregor fucking talking to Pooh.
I just still remember the first time we watched that trailer and how upset we all got. God, what did he say when he turns around?
I don't remember. I don't
God,
remember.
it was funny.
It's like, I think you need to rub yourself with honey. It's like, no, Pooh, I don't need to rub myself with honey.
I'm an adult now. I have a family.
I can't be your plaything anymore.
It just turns into that fake trailer in Tropic Thunder with Robert Downey Jr., but it's Pooh and Ewan McGregor.
What did Christian say? He said something about fucking before he was a Jedi Master.
That's so
That was
funny. It's looking like he might get cast to play Obi-Wan.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone should, him. But, you know,
Well, yeah.
fuck Star Wars.
For real.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, I saw Solo.
Yeah.
Thought it was all right. Not great.
I couldn't watch The Last Jedi.
You couldn't
I
watch
haven't
The Last
seen any of the
Jedi?
new stuff.
I watched 15 minutes of it and turned it off. It was just so bad.
It was very bad, but we had such a good time. Sometimes you just get a good crew to go to a movie to just rip. Like, and you don't even know. We did not think we were going to rip on it. I thought it was going to be good. I was very excited.
I was excited for it, too.
We ripped on it so hard that it was like a riot.
Didn't
I
someone
loved
tell you that you were an asshole?
Yes.
Oh,
Which was like
no.
the first time that I realized that I probably shouldn't go to movies just to rip on them. But I didn't try to that time.
So that time you were the group behind you
Yeah,
in
karma
Hereditary.
kind of got you.
You got
Yeah, it was like a dad. Like, he was clearly
Oh,
like
no.
taking his kid to see like Star Wars. But like, man, it was so bad.
Well, maybe he'll get a second
We
chance.
were having
There's
so
a campaign
much
to remake
fun.
it. Have you seen that?
I've seen it, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Disney's never going to do
Yeah,
that.
that's
No,
not
of
gonna
course
happen.
not. But
What?
there's a campaign to remake it.
And like so many people
Dena,
have signed.
I get the feeling that you enjoyed it. You seem frustrated right now.
No. No.
Do you love
You can
Star
totally
Wars?
enjoy it. Like there's no judgments
Enjoy
here.
what?
Enjoy The Last Jedi.
No, I didn't.
Or Star Wars at all in general.
No. That was it for me. I didn't even go, like, Alan was like, come see Solo with me. And I was like, no.
Oh, so you're
Oh,
against
no,
it.
that-
I'm
like-
against it.
Okay.
Because I was,
I misinterpreted that.
no, it was terrible. And I won't see Solo. And he's like, well, it's okay. So I'm like, I considered it. And I was like, no, I'm standing by
Well, you
it.
don't really have to see it at all. It doesn't matter.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
You're not
but
missing a
because
damn
that
thing.
movie made me so mad.
The,
I did not
the
like
person
think-
I was most excited to see in it was Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and then she was just a fucking robot.
The feminist, the
Yeah.
fembot.
Fembot that
Yeah.
that Donald Glover likes to fuck. I was like, that is such a fucking what?
I love on Red Letter Media they talk about like, okay, we've got this. Did you watch the Solo episode at all?
I watched most of it. I don't remember everything, but
Where they talk about like people were on the internet were just being like, oh my god, does what's his name, Lando Calrissian, like, is he like to just like fuck everything, like he's like, you know,
yeah.
he like fucks robots and guys and girls and just he's that guy.
He's,
and then like the director's like,
Pansexual.
sure, like it's cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't fucking matter in the context of the movie,
Yeah.
but people are like, there's all these articles like director says Lando
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pansexual.
I remember that.
I remember seeing those
Totally thing.
articles, yeah.
That's
It was
hilarious.
like, Lando was meant to be pansexual.
That was all I
What are you
saw about
doing?
it.
And Donald Glover basically was just like, all right.
Okay.
Like, why can't we just keep Star Wars fun? Like, we're not gonna delve into that.
Well,
Part of
my biggest gripe with it was the Kessler run, and he's like, I did it in 12 parsecs or whatever. But then it was just like he took a shortcut, and so then it makes like the Millennium Falcon's like allure like really nothing, because the whole idea was that it was the fastest ship. But then he wasn't the fastest ship. He just took a shortcut.
he took a dangerous shortcut.
Yeah, which makes the Millennium Falcon not important.
It says a lot about Han Solo, though.
He's lying, and they kind of established.
No, no,
Why?
he
mean,
takes the
he-
risk.
well,
He does the dangerous thing, and then he
But-
comes out ahead.
Immediately after that scene, they land, and he lies about how fast he did it. He makes it faster to the next person he tells. He's like, yeah, because they did in like, 14? And he's like, yeah, I did that in like 12 parsecs. And he's like, it was done in a way where it's like, obviously he's like bullshitting.
Ha ha ha! Yeah.
I don't know shit. I haven't
One
seen
more
a Star
time.
Wars movie in years, so.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up a good point. Like
I mean.
you could say that it represents his character as a rogue, like,
The new Star Wars
Thank
movies
you.
make the
Maverick.
old Star Wars movies bad now. Like, they make them worse.
okay, you know what makes them even worse? George Lucas's fucking re-edit that now you
Yeah.
can't even watch the goddamn originals. They have all this fucking CGI and fucking characters from the prequels in them.
Yes. it's
What?
great. They should have just put RuPaul in that cantina scene in the fucking episode 4.
I'm gonna edit
Missed
RuPaul
opportunity.
into the cantina.
Will you?
I'm gonna do that
Oh,
tomorrow.
I'm doing it right
Please.
now.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm already starting it.
I'm gonna pull the clips from YouTube and fucking throw that into After Effects and have
It'd
that
be
done
so
before I
good.
leave.
Very exciting.
Oh my god! How the hell are you gonna love someone else?
Now play that number again.
Dude, RuPaul's so good. So you guys watched all of season 9 of RuPaul,
We have.
and it was super entertaining. Of
Oh my
course, you had
God.
such a good time, right?
So
Yes,
good.
of course. So you mentioned this on an earlier episode about having watched it and it being this particular season being great. So now we've seen it.
Yes.
And we have to agree with you that it is A, incredible, and B, Sasha Velour
I'm
is
so obsessed with her. Oh my god.
she's my favorite ever. I don't think I'm gonna find a more favorite queen.
Yeah,
in
I don't
any
think
of these.
so either.
Yeah.
Like I don't think
Which
I'm
is
gonna like.
insane.
I know. Like,
Which is insane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's insane.
It is.
It's
we
insane.
randomly started with that season because it was available. Like we looked. We were like, we want to watch the show, and that was the only season we could find in full. And it
Oh,
just
we'll
so
settle.
happened to be her season. And now we're watching season 10 and it's fun and it's great and I love it. It's perfect. But we're like, are we ever gonna watch a season that's as fulfilling as
Yeah, exactly.
watching our queen?
I mean,
We
she's
started some
amazing.
season like before, and like we looked at everyone and we were like, oh, we don't know. Like,
Season 7, we were like, oh, we'll come back. Like we want to watch all of them and like
I mean,
to watch All Stars.
Yeah, you almost have to like get away from it to where you don't feel as attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the reason I feel like I'm not going to find a queen that I like as much as Sasha Velour is I don't think there's been a queen on the show who puts that much thought and like I mean like creativity and just like everything Sasha brought to the table, and it was so she was just so fucking smart.
She's very
Yeah.
high concept.
They all bring their
Yeah.
own.
No, they everybody has their
Yeah.
own,
But-
and like there's reasons to love the other queens, but like that's what drew me to Sasha. It's like I loved that like level of intention she brought.
she's like super polished and artistic as hell.
Yeah, she's really postmodern. Like she's referencing
Oh,
all these
yeah.
things, and there's a reason behind all of it.
I was about to say
And-
everything she does with
yeah.
such intent. They're like,
No
wait,
one else
like when
does
someone
that,
questioned
yeah.
her about the birds, she was like,
Oh, yeah.
these aren't real birds. Also, if you notice the arrow through my heart,
Mm-hmm.
that's my symbolism
yeah.
for like fuck hunting. Like it's not these aren't real birds. It's not what it's about. Like I
Yeah.
hate that. And
her.
I was just like, oh, like so good.
She's so
great.
fantastic.
She is.
Have you guys seen her show? It's like Nightgowns, I think is
Yeah.
what it's called.
No.
I want to, but
Yeah, I've watched like clips on YouTube, and
that's what I've seen.
it's fantastic, and it looks like they film at least part of it live. I want to watch like a full episode.
Yeah.
But it looks like they film at least part of it live, and it's like these really, really interesting like drag shows. And Sasha always ends it with doing like video art on the wall and like
Yeah,
like wearing
yeah.
crazy shit, and like I mean I showed you one of the tamer ones, but there's a couple that were just like holy fuck, and they do it every night, and they just have like a shitload of queens. Like
That's so
there's so
awesome.
many guests.
and she really brings it back to like high art and like gallery art and installation art. I mean, she's doing like Lee Bowery references and Matthew Barney references, like stuff that's really significant to the history of drag culture in general, but that has a translation into fine art. So it's just like, oh my god, I love her so much.
But then she makes it inclusive for everyone,
Yeah.
so you don't even have to know that she's doing that, and
Exactly,
you can
it's
enjoy
so
it.
entertaining. It like doesn't matter, and
Yeah.
that's something I think you lose with like Matthew Barney.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna find another queen I like better because
Yeah, you
she's
can.
Yeah,
for
you're
those
really hard.
reasons.
Yeah, you'll have to
Even that's just like
work
her
to top
solo
that.
stuff. Like on Drag Race, she carried herself so gracefully, so that she like worked well with the other queens and RuPaul. And he was like, "Well, are we gonna get it? Like your humor and like what you're doing?" She was like, "Yeah."
Oh god, her Marlena Dietrich. Oh
I
my
know.
God.
She's like, they're like, "Okay, we're like that's what you want to do," and she's like,
And she
was
brought
gonna-
it.
She
Yeah.
did. She sold it.
I will say in that episode, Marlena Dietrich was my favorite, but the Liza Minnelli, although
so good.
It's so good.
Alexis Michelle
so
was
good.
great.
But
Yeah.
then she went down.
She really
but
did.
like, Alexis Michelle got Kady, and like yeah, and-
Dude, it's honestly funny, like, as it narrows down, people who you have not seen be like catty and like
Yeah.
bitchy and like or like super confident,
they
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 start to
just
break down,
they
yeah.
explode.
Yeah.
Like break down, you're like,
They
holy
show
shit.
just
yeah.
their true
Yeah.
self.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Well, like Trinity the Tuck, like at the beginning, I was like, she's annoying as fuck.
yeah,
and at
then
the
you,
end,
and then you like liked her at the
oh,
end.
I
Yeah,
follow her on
exactly.
Instagram.
I hated her.
Yeah.
I hated it. We were like, God, like get her face out of here.
Yeah, she was on my list with the other ditzy queen.
She's so funny though when she did the nun shit and stuff.
Oh
like,
my
oh
God.
my
no,
god.
she won me over, and then in the finale, I thought she did fucking
Yeah.
great.
What was the like chocolate covered broccoli?
That was
skit
Sasha
as
and
well?
Shea Coulee.
That
What's that
shit
Shea
That
Coulee
was
and
hilarious.
Shea Coulee
Sasha?
and Sasha
so
Velour.
fucking good.
I kind of want to rewatch that
RuPaul's
episode.
chocolate bar
I kind of
on
want to
a
rewatch the
broccoli
whole
stalk.
season. Yeah.
That was so good.
I also love that like Sasha's like lived in Russia and can speak Russian, and like I think her like deep voice like is possibly I was speculating. I don't want to like say this is actually true, but was a product of him living in Russia and having to mask his like
Oh, perhaps, yeah.
his
like being
I
effeminate.
can see
yeah,
that for
he had to
sure.
like suppress who he was, and by doing that, he like his voice is like naturally like a deeper tone
It's
because
definitely
he was
affected
like
his mannerisms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I mean he's
they-
still like fabulous.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, he talked about like how like homophobic they are and how it's like they'll kill you. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like how like when he talks about it, it's so sad.
And it seems like he's like so aware, and he lived there for long enough that like he definitely would have had to hide who he was.
And that's what he said. He
Yeah.
like said like he had to hide who he was living there because
Yeah.
they're just it's not a way of life there. It's not good.
Well, it is a way of life there. It's just incredibly oppressed. It's just like you have to hide it, and it's like secret communities and shit, which is terrible. But yeah,
But I'm sure it's channeled all of his creativity. Just that much more. He's so good.
He's so good.
Yeah, and obviously takes some influence as well. You know, it's
Oh, he played the Russian villain. He was
Fucking
so
rules.
excited
Oh,
for the
that was
Russian villain. that fucking
great.
cop drama shit. That was so
That
funny.
was so good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys watched it that fast too. I feel like we took
Oh, we
forever.
tore through it. Oh,
I mean,
Well, he was here. We like
also
I was
we're
I'm
watching
gonna buy
it on something that like has commercials, and the commercials are unbearable.
oh no.
you have to play the commercials.
Like with the commercial will come up and pause.
you have to play.
And you have to play the commercial,
Oh,
and then
no.
you're just like, I'm playing a commercial right now.
like I'm making an effort
It's
to
like
play.
soul sucking. Oh my god.
Like every single commercial.
Oh,
it's just
no.
like, God damn
And
it.
you know what?
Well,
we fought the
we
fight.
got through that
Yeah.
shit.
Well, now you can sign into my Amazon account and you can watch it over again without commercials, and you watch All Stars.
I'm actually watching it
Need to
again
move
with
forward.
Christian.
What? Oh yeah, true.
I wanted to rewatch. Some of
Okay,
it.
so also I did watch the second episode of Pose, and I know you didn't get very far at all
we can talk about that. But
because it is. Okay. Anyway, second episode of Pose, pretty all right. I think the show is moving well. I'd like to see like the main thing I want to see is that mother, that like really big mother, like at the beginning of the first episode that where she like robs that fucking
Museum.
Museum.
yeah,
where it's like super silly. That is like very fucking crazy, exaggerated part of the show for sure. But like everything after that is pretty like normal. But I do want to see a lot more. I'm kind of interested, but the acting is a little clunky.
so
And also, what's his face? What is the guy?
Evan
Evan
Peters.
Evan Peters is like, I don't know about that guy. like ever.
Yeah, we didn't even make it to him if he's in the first episode. I don't know.
He is, yeah.
we didn't make it that
It's
So-
like
far.
some Wall Street.
We got to the title sequence with like after the queens get arrested for robbing the museum, and we
The
were
first
like,
ball, yeah.
yeah, we were like, if this is how you're gonna start your show about this time period in drag culture and just like New York in general, I don't want to watch. That was kind of our feeling. We were just like, that was so misrepresentative of what the culture was.
Yeah, it does seem it's like disconnected, but I don't know. I don't know where it's going with the whole like Trump thing. You know,
Yeah, like if it's motivated, I guess I get it, but I've got to get through the front door first. I'm not quite
Yeah.
there
Yeah,
yet.
and I like if that's the choice, like you have to like you're also introducing this culture to an audience that doesn't necessarily know anything about it.
Exactly.
These aren't necessarily fans.
I wouldn't know shit about it.
Ryan-
Right?
yeah, exactly.
Like fucking 2 months ago.
Like Ryan Murphy fans aren't necessarily going to know. They aren't going to have seen Paris is Burning. They aren't going to have like watched RuPaul or gone to drag shows or have friends who are drag queens or like understand like what the culture is and where it comes from.
yeah, like even at a base level.
And then you're going to start a show about that culture at a very formative time in its development, and you're going to portray it that way right off the bat. I think that there's
Where
something...
they like bust in like a couple of like fucking spies or some shit. It's
yeah,
like
and
weird, like
they're being fabulous, but they're also being like criminals, and they're being really catty and shitty towards each other. And like, while yes, they're establishing like how families work and like the heads of the families and like all this stuff, that also isn't the spirit of the drag at the time. With like, they weren't like robbing museums. They were like some of them were involved in crime and were robbing places and stuff, but nothing on that level. And they were do-it-yourselfing the costumes.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
get that.
and by doing that, they were still making them incredibly elaborate and fabulous.
Yeah.
And like, I'd rather see that and not some fictional bullshit that kind of misrepresents what was going on.
It is interesting that it doesn't really like show that aspect of it at all. Like it doesn't show the interesting part where it's about like putting together all the costumes and like making it super interesting and like showing that, like that would be super interesting. But like that's not the show they wrote.
Yeah, exactly.
At all.
But like when you learn about that culture at the time, like a lot of them were kind of like Sasha Velour. They were like young, somewhat educated, like gay men who couldn't express themselves. Some of them were highly educated. They just couldn't express themselves in society, and they congregated in these, specifically this club, but in these places, and they really put thought into what they were doing and what they were saying by dressing in this drag.
It was through the balls that they could become what they couldn't be in the outside world, and that wouldn't just include dressing as women. It would also include dressing as like a businessman, which is what I took away from Paris is Burning really heavily. Like
they straight up do that. Like they
executives
have
show that.
fucking
yeah, and
watched
it's great. Like,
Paris is Burning.
That
They
was
fucking
great.
make that shit exactly like Paris
Yeah.
is
Of
Burning.
course.
Like
To
that
have
fucking
that
club in there.
feeling
But it
that
feels
you're
like they
an
missed the
important
point.
But I think
person.
that they're just
Yeah.
telling a different story, honestly. I don't think that they're delving into that. They're telling a completely different story. And I can follow them for a little while. I'm going to.
I mean,
They're telling a different one that's
But-
like, let's see what we can appeal to that's like entertaining to
Well,
people.
I don't know. I don't know what story they're telling yet, honestly.
I don't know what story they're telling yet either, obviously, but I think that whatever story it is, it doesn't have to focus on that culture. There is still a better way to portray that culture in any story you're going to tell.
It's true. Also, the main queen, that like top
mother.
yeah, the mother. She speaks like she's she's the host of RuPaul's Drag Race. She doesn't speak like a real person, and that bothers the fuck out of me.
Because it was very
like-
natural back then. They like spoke that way. Yeah.
But like, I want to see her break.
Yeah.
Like at some point, it like
Yeah.
feels too put together the whole fucking time. It's
almost
just
like
so,
playing to the audience as opposed to just
Yeah,
playing to the
it feels
characters in
weird
the
to me.
scene. Yeah.
Because like the character would be playing to the audience, but the character at the time would also be more like raw and a little bit more vulnerable. It's not polished like RuPaul, where
Yeah.
it's an edited thing. And
it's also
he's-
very self-aware. I mean, everything they say is a pun or it's
yeah,
like
and it's
yeah.
referencing these early drag traditions and like
Yeah,
opening the
That part's
library.
just
And
weird. I don't believe it.
yeah, I just feel like they're misrepresenting the culture in a way that's like disappointing because it's less interesting than what actually was going on.
Yeah, for sure. Needs to be a little more edgy. That's much it takes going around the room.
I'm just having like hereditary moments. I'm really scared. I hear noises. I don't like it.
I've invoked the demon.
I am the demon. All right, let's
You
talk
will-
about motherfucking Captain Ron. Okay, we need to.
Loudy.
We need to get to this. I could talk about other shit, but all right, we watched Captain Ron. We've never seen it. Chase thought that he saw it.
I was wrong.
For a second.
Yeah, not correct. Different movie.
Different movie.
Different Kurt Russell water movie.
It was overboard.
It was definitely overboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Captain Ron is Martin Short and Kurt Russell, and it's a kind of Ben Stiller-esque everything goes wrong kind of thing.
Well, it's funny you're saying Ben Stiller-esque because this would
I
have
know,
come
it's-
out.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Ben Stiller's
before.
totally like modeling his shit after the
Yeah,
form.
Yeah,
for
like
sure,
Martin
but-
Short's the Ben Stiller type, and then Kurt
Yeah.
Russell's the Owen Wilson type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But every fucking Ben Stiller movie
Yeah,
is
follows
like
this
this.
formula.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
Yeah.
like
I mean,
he fell into that part so hard.
It's the watered down Woody Allen, basically.
Yeah.
It's the neurotic,
Like Along Came Polly, Ben Stiller. Yeah.
the neurotic responsible. Exactly.
I was just about
yeah.
to say
Yeah.
The
that.
neurotic,
That's hilarious. I was like,
it's the neurotic responsible guy who wants to have an adventure but doesn't know actually how to have an adventure.
He's like, you know what? There's a boat. And I inherited it, so let's
He's
do
like
this
all
thing.
gung ho, and then the minute shit gets interesting, he's like, "This isn't okay.
Yeah.
We can't be doing this."
I don't like conflict.
Let's forget about
I
this.
wanted to have an easy adventure.
So first off, the fucking intro
Oh my god,
is
yeah.
so good
Fantastic.
with that music, and then like the
Cityscapes.
font of
Yes.
Captain Ron is just like, hey, like
Margaritaville.
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
It's like that like Florida toucan
Yeah,
like
for
sure.
cartoon print.
Just like superimposed
Adventure.
on like bleak Chicago.
Kind of
cityscape.
looks like
yeah.
yeah. Oh my god.
it was a great intro, but it does not let you know where this movie goes.
No.
It is
Yeah.
not representative.
So the city and that music, God, it just reminded me of Jungle to Jungle so hard because that's
Absolutely.
exactly how Jungle to Jungle is.
Yeah.
And like Tim Allen and Martin Short, like they were both around. They were both '90s movies.
Yeah.
Like, and they're not that fun. They kind of look alike too.
Jungle to Jungle is a very strange movie, and we will have a longer conversation about it one day.
Oh my God.
We will.
Okay, all right, I guess so.
We don't have to watch it, but we will have a longer conversation.
Yeah, no, we don't need to talk about Jungle to Jungle. I just wanted to make the reference.
It's
Oh
funny.
yeah,
Um,
but it's a good comparison for sure.
No, it's very accurate.
Yeah, but so Martin Short gets a letter that like says that his uncle passed away and he inherited this boat. And when he comes home to tell his wife and she's on the phone and he's just like grabbing Olive on her and just like kissing her neck, he's like, I have something to tell you. And he's so crazy. And like that Martin Short's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a boat. Like he's just way too excited about the boat. Yeah.
Hashtag that's my Martin Short.
Tweeting right now.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Everything's a tweet.
But yeah, that's great. They need to go to Saint Potato or some shit. They
Doesn't he argue with her? That's not what it means.
It's
Yeah.
something like pomme de
Pork
terre,
fries.
and which means like
Yeah.
potato, earth or whatever. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
like, she's like, that means potato, and he's like, no, it doesn't.
Well, weren't there more
It
jokes
does.
through this movie about shit like that where things were named after like ridiculous
Yeah,
food items
absolutely.
and
That boat.
yeah. What was the name of the boat?
Albondigo. It means meatball. I saw it, I was
Potatoes
like,
and
wait.
meatballs.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, sounds
I was
good.
like, wait, I
That's
know what
so
that word
funny.
means. This is so funny.
I bet there's like quite a few of those that are like hidden in this movie.
I'm sure there's more. That's so funny.
They have to charter this. Okay, so what? They get this boat, and they have to go to Miami to get it, right?
Yeah, Martin Short wants to go get it and bring it back.
and
His
sail it
wife's
back or
like,
some shit.
But
You
it's
know.
is it in another country? Like is it in the Caribbean or something?
some island in the Caribbean. But his
Okay.
wife's like, no, let's just hire somebody. And then the best character in the movie shows up.
Our main
Yes.
man.
Yes.
Oh
The best
my
Oh
character in any movie.
God,
Really.
It was-
so fucking good.
It was Snake Plissken after smoking a giant joint.
Yes. Their like wannabe goth daughter kind of rolls in and is like, I'm engaged. And yeah, what is he?
Yo.
Yo,
yeah.
mom
and dad.
dad.
Yo, yeah, calls him mom and dad.
Yeah.
That's so fucking
And
silly.
yeah, his wife's immediately like, let's get her out of here. We're going to the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's what
easy
sold her.
Oh,
fix.
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
that
sold
is
her.
the
That
device
was
that got
the-
them the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
That was the best character in the boyfriend. I was
then-
talking about Kurt
yeah.
Russell. Kurt Russell's Snake
No.
Plissken after he smoked
No,
a giant
no,
joint.
I'm talking about
Yeah, I was confused
Yeah.
by
the
that as
weird
well.
Yeah.
boyfriend who had 3 words.
Yeah, yo, mom and dad.
Oh my
words.
god, the
Mom,
best
dad.
character.
All I thought about when I saw him was the no regrets from
Yes.
from We're the
Absolutely.
Millers.
Yes.
Really, not
Not
even
even
one letter.
No regrets.
Oh my god.
That's all I thought about.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he was perfect. We could have turned it off then. I was like, great movie. Perfect. Love it.
10 out of 10. 5 stars.
So good.
So they get Captain Ron though through like some bullshit where they're like send him a local instead of like a professional captain or some shit like that.
Yeah, because like what the sailboat was supposed to have belonged to Clark Gable, and they're like, we're gonna sell it for a bunch of money and pay off our house, and then they get down there and it's like kind of wrecked.
Yeah,
And so they
make it
call
nice,
and they're
dirty
like, you
pirate
know, it's not in as good a shape to like the yacht dealer or whatever, and he's like, send him a local to get him back. Like I'm not putting money into having like one of our guys bring him back.
Mm.
And then we get Kurt Russell.
Who's a fucking con man, okay? He wasn't
Yeah,
even
I
the
mean-
local. Like,
But we didn't know, you know.
I knew immediately.
You heard about a
no.
job.
I called it. I said I'm waiting for him to be a con man. Like, I'm just waiting, and he fucking was.
You just thought he was a creep.
Yeah, but you thought we were
He
watching
was a
Overboard
creep.
for
Yeah.
like the first 25 minutes.
True.
But Kurt Russell.
But it
does
doesn't mean I
not-
was incorrect.
Kurt Russell does not do super creepy stuff, would you'd expect. He only kisses the wife at the end, and he doesn't even do it that creepily.
No, so the movie. That's
He is a very weird character.
Well, when he was like
but he
steering
isn't
the
like
boat
a
and he said something about the boat needing to respond to touch like a woman, and he was like doing like a weird ghost thing
and he kept
around
rushing
the
up
way.
against women and like
and filming
Like,
them. Never mind.
Yeah,
and the-
with the camera. Yeah,
he was like filming their asses, and Martin Short's like, "What are you doing?"
That's my 16-year-old
Yeah,
daughter.
and like
Yeah.
smashes the camera. I was like, oh, I guess you'll never be able to see that.
Well, the first scene he's in, he hits on the daughter, and then until he realizes the parents are on board, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm Captain Ron. Nice to meet you." Yeah. Like, so he was totally. I mean, he stood there when they were naked in the shower,
Yeah.
and just like he didn't have
Yeah.
to stand there.
So anyway,
No, he thought that Martin Short was the only one in there.
No way.
No,
They were
he
both
didn't.
in profile.
Okay, no, but like when it comes out and Key like sees you, he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like it like seemed genuine. Like he didn't like it wasn't like.
But every
I am not
con man
seeing
seems
that
in the
genuine.
shower.
No, I felt like it was like a fault of the film, like making that joke. It
Yeah,
seemed
possibly.
clunky. Like it didn't seem like it was supposed to be like him being like, "Oh, I'm trying to look at your wife," like kind of thing.
no,
I'm going to give
but-
the film the benefit and say that they totally meant to do that.
Okay, so like the first time we see Captain Ron, right? Like and he's rolling up in that like junky car,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and one of the headlights is out, and it's the same one as his eye.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
my
missing an
god.
eye.
And
Yeah.
the second car.
Yes,
I
every
noticed
car
that.
he drives in the
that
movie is
headlight is
missing a
out.
headlight, and it's the
Did
same.
not see that.
It's the right-hand headlight. Yep.
They
Just
fo-
so
He
funny.
literally walks away from the car, and they focus on the car empty, and I'm like, why? And the headlight's out, and I was
Yep.
like, okay. And then later on, when he's driving the red car, the same headlight is out after he hits whatever, and I was like, okay, that's silly.
That's so fucking
yeah.
hilarious.
Well, and then
what
he-
the hell?
Yeah, it's super funny.
It's great.
I
Well, and
love
then
that
he
you
rolls up
noticed
to the
that.
dock, right? And then like he doesn't put the car in park, and it rolls off the dock, which
Yes.
is the exact same thing that Martin Short did when he got home and he was excited about the boat.
Oh, yeah,
and he
yeah.
left his car in reverse and started to roll out of the driveway. And it's like they're not so different, and it's like super on the nose, but like really kind of fun, you know?
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie is so much fun.
Yeah, it was a
Kurt
blast.
Russell shows up. Like the dry spells are when like Kurt Russell like
Or
goes
is he
away,
gone?
like when he's not there, and like before he comes and rescues
Yeah.
them.
I
Like I was just like, like what is this movie doing right now?
Like,
Yeah.
even the part with the flare and he wasn't there, you're like, all right.
Okay.
The flare scene was kind of funny though. Like him being like fucking weird and then just like, oh fuck.
It just
Like,
went away so quickly, like the problem. Like that happens a lot in this
It was
movie.
very
Like it'll be
random.
like you think it's gonna be like a huge like thing, and then it just kind of goes away,
So-
and, like fizzles
Like it's
out.
the conflict, but
Yeah.
it's not really
So-
the conflict.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's like this like the moment with the flare gun when he picked up the flare gun and pointed at him. I thought it was just going to be like us seeing Martin Short be like showing his jealousy for Kurt Russell, and then there are consequences for him holding the gun. And I was like, oh, this movie's going to take into account everything that's actually happening. Like it's actually doing that. His like jealousy and mental stability is at stake now.
Yeah.
Because like they've gone there, and then it just didn't go there again.
Yeah,
And
well,
I was
like our
like, what? And
brains
it did
think
that all
so
the time.
differently on
Yeah.
what the film could actually do, and this film is just like, no, we're not gonna do that. Like we're not that
This is just
film.
a playful kind of family film that didn't quite make Disney.
That has very dark undertones
Yeah.
and brief moments
and underage drinking.
and nudity.
Oh, which is great.
Yeah.
So funny.
That little kid drinking is hilarious.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
fucking hated that little kid, and then he got into
Got into
Captain
drugs and
Ron's
alcohol.
clutches and started
Drinking
doing
beer over
booze.
Monopoly and then like playing with pirates and
Then he
yeah,
was tight.
That's great.
I feel like Wes Anderson took some notes from this movie for
Yeah.
Life Aquatic. Like there are scenes in this movie that have the same kind of like brevity that scenes from that movie have.
Just that one shot where stylish ass mommy wearing her
Kinda
fucking
go up the-
summertime style.
Yeah.
And her little
The big
sandal
hat.
stilettos.
Yeah,
Yes.
when it's like that flat shot of her crawling up onto the boat.
And she's clearly actually trying to get on the boat.
Yeah.
Like it's moving all over the place. And the actress is like
It was
trying to
cool.
get on the
That was
boat. Yeah.
beautiful. That was my favorite shot of the movie for sure.
good.
That crane shot.
Yeah.
The whole movie was shot pretty well though. Like
Yeah.
I'm not watching it going, oh, this didn't have a budget, or like whoever the fuck shot this was terrible. Like,
Yeah, it's not a movie like that. It's not a bad movie. It's actually a very good movie. It's like hilarious. Essentially.
in my head too, we're contrasting it because we watched Nothing But Trouble, and
The bar's low.
like that's like the last movie that we watched together. So maybe it's bolstered, but I actually think this was just a really good
Which
movie.
is funny because I told Alan how the like Martin Short's part was originally like supposed to be John Candy.
Oh
That's
wow.
so funny.
Yeah, and I.
Yeah. I don't even
Now I want to see that movie too.
Yeah.
What the fuck's so weird?
Different movie, but I still want to see it.
Oh my god, I don't.
I'll just watch Mr. Buck. Or
I
Let's
think I
look.
read it was
Uncle
John
Buck.
Candy or Billy Crystal. Like it was super funny.
either one of them.
I
Like
know,
that's.
right.
I would
Billy
rather see
Crystal
the John
makes
Candy.
every movie so different.
Mike was out.
City Slicker.
Oh my god, let's check out some of this trivia.
You want me to pull up some of the trivia?
Oh,
Yeah, I want to
please.
see what the fuck happened on set.
Okay, so obviously the first piece of trivia is what we've already mentioned, which is the headlights.
Wing, 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 wing.
When Captain Ron introduces himself to the Harveys, he says his name is Ronrico, and Ronrico is a brand of rum, which Dena
Dena
literally said
called.
immediately.
I was a bartender.
No.
Living.
I know the brand, but when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, it is a brand of rum. And I bet that's not even his real name.
Yeah, well,
'Cause
it
he's
was
definitely
great.
barking.
He was like,
He's
just call me
a
Ron
con
He's
Rico.
a con
Yeah.
artist.
But then it's like, oh, he's a con artist. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the very end, when he's just like Patrick Batemaning away. Yeah. It's like the
Wearing
talented
same
Mr.
thing, but with
Ripley.
a blazer,
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just the talented Mr. Ripley. Like
They just
that.
die.
That's the fucking long con. That's why it was controversial. The movie ends in a Patricia Highsmith's novel. Like it just
Yeah.
turns into
Not a controversial one.
yeah.
It's not like the price of salt.
Well, no. So the the My Way, which we mentioned when we were watching it.
Yeah.
It shows the My Way on the boat, and then Paul Anka.
Paul Anka is he wrote My Way, and
In my way.
and then he's like the actual yacht dealer in Miami that like screws them over and is like, just get a local. And
And then he's the one, we're going to scrap it for parts.
yeah, and he's waiting on the dock, and then they just like pull away, and it's this big
So
moment.
silly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Here's a fun one. Pretty much all of Captain Ron's personal wardrobe was actually from Kurt Russell's closet.
Oh my god.
I expect nothing less. I
That
love
is
that man.
incredible.
Yeah. Also, wearing the Speedo, the pirate raspy voice, and all of those things were all Russell's suggestions for the character.
I love
Yeah.
him.
He was like, it wouldn't it be funny if I just like took my pants off and just wearing a Speedo? I don't care at all.
See, but
Yeah.
I love it because the underage drinking he kind of had a problem with.
Yeah.
Because he's that wholesome of a person. He's like, I'll get an eye patch. I'll wear all these crazy clothes,
Really?
but the underage drinking, I draw the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, he's been raising, he
Goldie
had like,
Hawn's
yeah.
kids. Yeah, he's like a really good dad.
Yeah.
He's just a good dude.
Yeah. So that just makes me like him a little bit more, but then love that he played that character so fucking well
Yeah, he
anyways.
Yeah.
Yelling
like,
at
"Oh,
the
I'm
kid
just
to
gonna-
go get me a beer. Like, he's just
Yeah.
like,
Wholesome
so
dude.
I'm just gonna use all my clothes and make the character, and we'll just
Like,
do this movie.
So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do what I want to do. I'll bring my own wardrobe. I don't need you. But I feel like you don't need to give Kurt Russell a direction. If he
Yeah,
agrees to
for
be in
sure.
your movie, he knows what he's gonna do,
Yeah.
and you're just gonna have to fucking use that.
yeah, for
Great.
sure.
It's gonna be better than anything you
just
wanted.
work with all of it.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
He'll break a fucking classic Fender that's 200 years
Oh,
old.
Oh
God.
my god.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I love that kind of commitment.
So funny. But yeah, so when he's leaving with them, I like thought that like cops were gonna show up or some shit, but I guess that would be too that would like make the family find out that like they were after him.
Yeah.
But really this fucking guy shows up with a gun.
Yeah.
And like getting a scuttle like with other people like trying to stop him.
He's like, "What's that?"
Yeah, but he's like, that guy stole my wife.
And then at the end of the movie, he's like hitting on that guy's wife the whole time, and it's like that's like his move. He just like undermines the husbands.
He's just hitting on everyone, every woman.
Yeah. I guess if that's your thing.
Just mothers, daughters. He doesn't discriminate.
Oh my god.
So it says the St. Hog Yacht Club in the docking and board game scene was shot at the Puerto del Rey Marina in some place that I'm not going to pronounce, which is in Puerto Rico. And the yacht club building is the dock center. This is a boring fact.
Yeah.
I don't know why I chose that one.
You didn't know what you were getting yourself into.
So John Carpenter almost directed this
what? That would have been incredible.
because Kurt Russell got cast.
Oh,
It could have been like the anti thing. It's like warm weather.
dude.
You trust everyone. I mean,
It would have been a better movie.
Yeah, and John Carpenter said he wanted to do it because he wanted to shoot in the Caribbean. He wanted to make a movie in the Caribbean.
Oh my god.
He was like down, and they ended up not hiring
because he
him.
was tired of the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
things in the cold.
Like, I'm not doing that again.
Oh,
That's so
and the
funny.
eye patch was a direct reference to Escape from New York and Escape from LA. So he's totally doing a Snake Plissken
my
thing.
God.
And it was his suggestion.
That's so weird.
Wow.
And it was supposed to be Chevy Chase, Billy Crystal, Steve Martin, John Ritter, John Candy, and Richard Dreyfuss.
Thank God it was none
I got
of them.
two of them. 2 out of a million.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right. I think the big two were Billy Crystal and John Candy.
Yeah.
But then the other guys were also
nuts.
considered.
Can we talk about Martin Short's green polo?
Like a t-shirt.
And when he takes
Dress.
off his pants,
Oh,
and he just looks like
Yeah.
Gumby.
So
It's like Peter Pan.
Oh, yeah, and that whole scene too, where he's like, "We'll just create some background noise," and he turns the shower on,
Oh my god.
and then it just escalates from there.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous scene.
So fucking.
I got like really genuinely stressed out during that scene because they get locked in with the broom handle. Into
Okay,
the
that broom
shower.
handle, perfectly placed.
It
Like,
must have taken 20 takes.
dude,
Yeah.
the take is perfect. It's so believable. It was incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
locked in the shower, the water starts filling, the drain plugs up, the water starts filling up, and they're just
You
both
just wonder how
trapped
far
in
it's gonna
the world's
go.
narrowest shower.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Picture of the year.
Yeah. Picture the year. The year was 1992. You're about to enter the
We
Twilight
weren't
Zone.
born yet.
When
The
yeah.
shape of Ron.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm suing.
so that's the best joke of the episode.
That's the joke I was trying to make with picture of the year, but had to make it more clear.
you got there. Yeah, proud of you.
You clearing that up made it even better.
Oh my god. Okay, so also fucking Captain Ron, when he just goes down below deck, tells Martin Short to start steering, and they're like, I think he's dead.
Oh my god.
Great.
And they
Kid's
go
just
down.
poking him in the face with a stick.
It just keeps poking the stick. And the kid's gotta be like, what, 10 years old?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's old enough not to poke a guy with a stick.
I don't know.
Bro, I would probably
No,
poke
I
a
mean,
guy
like,
with
at
a
that
stick.
point, what were you, 5th
His
grade?
eyes are just open. Like,
Are you okay?
Hey,
Hello?
It's
hey,
not even that his
hey.
eyes were just open and the eye patch was on his
He
right
was just like
eye. So his glass eye was open.
oh, that's so.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
it's not
See,
like
at the
both
time,
of his
like
eyes
it
were
just
open.
totally looked straight up like an eyeball. to me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
it
then
hasn't been
afterwards,
revealed
I
yet.
was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it was on his right eye. So his glass
Which
eye
is
just
fucking
and that's why he's like, have a
hilarious.
glass eye, kid.
God, when he flips the eye patch. Oh my god, we had to rewind it.
But then
So
it makes
fucking-
sense as to why he looks like that. Like he
See,
can
me and
close
Chase
it.
both straight up just thought that he had both eyes,
and he was just faking
flipped,
it.
It's like
which
a
is
style
more
choice, like-
hilarious, honestly.
That's what I thought too. That is what I thought too. Which is like he's faking it. It's so funny. And then I was like, when he said he got a glass eye and he meant
Yeah,
it, I
yeah.
was like, oh, so when
And then
he
it's
was
like going a
asleep-
different direction.
There
It
was a
kind
s-
of becomes worth it later when he pulls
Yeah, it
the eye
does.
patch off.
It's like
He's
wandering.
I don't want to draw too much attention to myself in the eyes going like the other way.
There's a certain point in the movie where he loses the eye and he never gets it back.
It's true.
Well, yeah, he doesn't get it.
It
back.
doesn't
There's-
go anywhere. They don't show anything. He like just
It
drops. He's like, "Help me
bounces.
find my
Yeah,
eye."
And
it
then
bounces
after-
like across
After
Puerto
like
Rico,
2
like-
shots, he's just like, "Oh, it's all right. I'll just use the eye patch for real now." Like,
Oh man.
and they
Yeah.
never bring it up again. It's
Yeah,
like,
that was strange. I thought that was gonna become like a whole thing.
like them going for the eye was gonna be like one of the motivating.
yeah, it's
plots
like
of the
Arnold
movie.
really could've
Schwarzenegger
watched
in
the
Jingle
whole
All the
movie.
Way, like going after that ball.
Exactly.
Oh my god! If this movie had turned into that
I
at
could
the
have watched an
end,
entire movie of them looking for his glass.
I'm not the pervert. I'm just trying to get the Turbo Man doll.
Done.
I want to talk about
like-
Jingle All the
I've
Way.
never seen
Since
it.
it's the
Well-
best Christmas movie.
we're gonna
I
do
know,
Jingle All the
we'll
Way
see
in
it.
December when we do our
Well,
Christmas
I'll be
theme
there.
night.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my god! I love
All four of
Jingle
us
All
will
the
do
Way.
the Jingle All the Way episode in
think-
December.
Ugh,
Yes.
so incredible. Okay, so what do they drop in the water? And the anchor. He drops the anchor in the water, and then he fucking puts the brick
bricks?
on the kid's foot.
Time break.
There's so many scenes that like begin, and you're like, "Where's this gonna go?" And then they just end. Like,
But
and
the,
like,
the implication behind the scenes is almost like It's
Exactly.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh,
it's
for
like
sure.
it's like Dennis
Yeah.
asking to like a kid, like not even giving a shit, just like I need you to go do this, and it's incredibly dangerous, but it's totally cool, kid.
yeah, when they first
Yeah.
like start playing Monopoly together, and okay, 10 cents equals $100. He's like, "What? God damn it, no!" You buy your own beer.
Then he's like, "You owe me 35 cents," and he's like, the kid's like, "Well, that's half of what I've got," and he goes, "Tough shit, kid. Life's tough.
And then
Life's
he walks
rough."
away after giving him a beer, and he's like, "You also owe me $2.80 for that beer." Like,
Yeah.
it's just like,
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I love him.
It is true that Kurt Russell makes this movie.
Absolutely.
Like,
Oh yeah, he is
Yeah.
the movie.
yeah. Like it's a decent movie and all the components like kind of support Kurt Russell, but Kurt Russell makes this fucking
Martin
movie.
Short's a funny ass motherfucker, but like
Yeah.
he doesn't show like too much. He plays straight man, you know.
Yeah.
And he really isn't made to
That's-
play the straight man.
Yeah,
like,
that's like what he's supposed to do.
He does. He has
does
like
it so
two
well.
moments where he uses his physical comedy skills, like when he's going to get the flare and he keeps bumping his head into shit, and
Yeah.
like that was kind of funny, but like he can play that shit really funny, and they did not like utilize
Yeah,
his
like Inner Space and like Clifford and stuff, where he's like
Yeah.
Inner Space, he's like super fucking silly and clumsy, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean his whole thing is physical comedy. He's like a clumsier Charlie Chaplin, and that's like the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh my god, I love him.
It was funny when he fell when,
I love
when he
everyone.
fell off the boat when he got the sander to work and he like fell off.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Oh,
really
yeah.
funny.
That
Classic.
whole fall was so
Yeah, that
comical.
was
It was so
good.
good. Yeah.
I liked that.
It's so weird to think of a time when falling off a boat, you didn't have to worry about like ruining your cell phone. Or,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
You're
Like,
just like
for-
bummed by the fact that he fell off a boat.
Yeah, it's like I watched that happen and I was like, oh wait, this is 92.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. That's not something we have to worry about.
Oh my god.
What a time.
That's like also that I think it's right after when he falls off the boat, where he's got all that sunscreen on his face and his lips. Captain Ron
Oh my
does.
God.
And he's like catches that fly. Then he like lets it go and like catches it again. Like does really weird shit with it.
He
It's
lets
so
go
strange.
of the like steering wheel. That's what
Yeah.
you would call it, and then the boat's just going. Like
Oh my
so
god.
funny.
That steering wheel.
He just plays chicken with a fly.
Yeah, that was weird as fuck.
A lot of things he did in this movie were weird as fuck.
I just want to get all the pictures of the mom's like dresses and shit that
Oh,
she
yeah.
wore,
And
and just
just
like
get them printed
got,
out
like,
and
a
hang them up
full
on my
wardrobe.
wall.
and just like
Yeah.
line them up and be like, damn, look at all this, dude. Honestly, we should do it. Fucking post it. It's fucking great. You know you love it, Dina. I
I
don't know
love
why.
all of her outfits. I love the ones with the stars.
The mini
Oh, yeah.
outfits of
Dress.
Captain
She
Ron.
brought at least 12 bathing suits on that
she
boat.
looked amazing. I
Yeah,
loved it.
12 bathing suits.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I agree.
She got one for each
Don't say
of the
12,
12
just say a
days of
dozen,
Christmas.
and they won't even pay attention to what
There
you're
you go.
saying.
Yeah.
Just say
A dozen? Oh,
But
wait,
the star
what?
one was the standout. The star one was really
A
good.
dozen, several, a
Wait.
few.
What are we doing here?
A couple dozen.
Why is that word just
Because
reset
you
my
don't
brain?
understand synonyms or
Size
something? Like,
It doesn't
negative
sound like
zero.
many at all. You said a couple dozen.
You mean like
3?
13?
you mean 3.
The Trinity?
She really did kill it. I understand Captain Ron with her. I get it.
Okay, so
They hit it off. They
Well,
hit it off.
Who couldn't?
also the scene where Martin Short is looking off and there's that woman on shore. Totally thought he was like hallucinating or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like totally
yeah.
seemed like that.
And they played it
Which
that
is
way
funny.
too.
yeah, for sure.
Until
And then
Kurt
you
Russell
wonder
really
if Kurt Russell is
hilariously-
gonna like notice her or not as well.
Yeah, and then
When
he
he goes,
does.
Hey!
Yeah.
And then
Colleen!
he just carries her away.
Colleen! I'm sure she's looking at me. She was looking at me, man.
What do you say? You know, every time I'm on this island, she wants my manhood.
Yeah. What can I
Takes
say?
off his
Shrug,
pants.
And
like-
wearing the Speedo.
Yeah.
And then he's just
Bright blue
carrying
suit.
her
Yeah, he
to the beach.
stalks off into the
Okay,
water.
she's real.
Throws her over his shoulder.
And,
like, what?
and that makes Martin Short so angry that he grabs a flare gun and considers shooting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts a fire.
He
So-
has like a weird Yosemite Sam moment where he's just standing there holding
Darn
it, like,
tune!
freaking out. Like,
I have to kill Bugs Bunny.
He just
I gotta
makes
kill him.
cartoon noises for a minute, yeah.
Captain Ron kind of is
My
like a
bridges are
Bugs
burning.
Bunny character in
Yeah,
this,
he
though.
definitely is a
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny
He's
character.
he's totally
Yeah.
like in control of all the other situations.
Yeah.
And yeah. He's like fucking with everyone kind of by pretending to be incompetent, but he always is able to pull it off.
I can like easily see
Oh my God.
Captain Ron putting on like some coattails and going up to the opera house and just playing piano and crazy shit.
Okay, I would watch a live action Looney Tunes with Kurt Russell as Bugs Bunny.
I want to write a Captain Ron sequel that's a combination of the talented Mr. Ripley and Looney Tunes with Kurt Russell reprising the role as an
and
old
Looney
man.
Tunes
Yeah.
back in action.
But then,
Yeah.
when you're talking about just what he gets away with, that part where he's like, talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean, he's like, "This isn't Disney." He's like, "I've never been there." Like, doesn't know.
I've
He
been to
thinks
Dollywood.
says Pirates of the Caribbean, and he doesn't even
Get the reference at all.
Yeah, he just says it
He's
in
like,
conversation.
he like means it. Like
What-
same with the gorillas. He's like,
yeah.
he's not like referencing.
Be careful, there are gorillas in this jungle, and he's like, yeah, no, we're not in gorilla territory, and then
So was Pirates of the Caribbean like a Disney thing like that
It was a
long
ride.
ago?
It was a
It was
ride,
just a
yeah, it was
ride?
a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it was okay.
Yeah,
That-
it's a movie based on a ride.
It's just
bro.
so weird now because they keep calling them the Pirates of the Caribbean, and now knowing like the movie franchise that's come out of that.
Yeah.
At the time, it had a completely different context. Now it almost sounded like product placement.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, I don't understand the fucking. I still don't understand the part where they went to jail. Like I missed
something.
it so hard, and it was
Yeah,
so
he said
short
it.
too.
He was
It's
like,
because they bring the gorillas to the island, right?
yeah, he said you brought revolutionaries onto the island, and they
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
Where
he
do
was
they
like,
arrest
we're
them?
letting
But-
you go on subversions.
It was
but
like a cut. It
you
like
have to
cut
leave
to
it.
them in
They're
jail.
like, you have to
Yeah.
expel from the island.
And then, yeah, it was very.
So
weird.
like cut out the part where they actually get like arrested and caught for something.
they were like at
I,
the
like-
party. They
Yeah,
were
I
at
just
that
remember them
party.
being at the party, and then it was just like jail sequence.
Well, the
and
cops pulled up, and you like thought it was gonna be about Captain Ron, and it was about them.
I need to go rewatch.
I
that
missed the
scene.
cops
I
pulling up. The
completely
only
missed
time
it.
I saw the cops pull up was when they were in
No,
the
they
cops'
didn't.
vehicles.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah, I
like-
just missed
No,
it.
I don't doubt you. I just
I wonder if
completely
like
missed
something
it.
else happened in
Well, I
the
was
room
like,
that you
oh,
guys
like
both
Captain
tuned
Ron did
out.
something wrong, and they're
I
gonna
mean-
like get him, and they pull up for
Me and
them.
Chase were staring
Yeah.
at
And
each
then they're
other's
in there, like,
eyes.
he,
Yeah.
she
Can you
goes,
believe what we're
honey.
doing?
She's like, honey, I don't want to start a fight, but this is your fault. And he's like, she's like, I mean, I don't want to start a big fight about this. And he's like, no, yeah, I get it. And that was the whole thing. Like, they brought the gorillas onto the island.
Well, thank you for paying attention better than I
You're
did.
welcome.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to let you go, but you're expelled from the island.
What a terrible outcome.
Yeah. So then they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, we don't need you, Captain Ron. And
You got a tattoo?
Yes, and this
Yeah.
is the tattoo sequence.
Yeah, and then also Captain Ron's with that girl, Angelina, and he's like, you're a cretin. And he's talking to Captain Ron.
She's not a Cretan. She's a Puerto Rican.
Alan loved that part so much.
It was
so funny.
good. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
He wears the silliest shit in this movie.
Kurt Russell?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I want to hang out with him because that's apparently
Now?
just
In 1992 or
in
now?
1992. I want to build a time
My baby
machine
me.
just to go hang out with Kurt Russell.
Amazing.
Right? What the hell?
He's amazing now, though. He just looks like a cowboy from like 1851.
Yeah, he's just a total badass.
He like
always
kept that
has
look
been.
from the Hateful Eight.
Yeah, right? He's just like, what's up, boss?
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's Kurt Russell.
This here Daisy's gonna hang.
Oh my god, Tombstone. Tombstone's so good.
But I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, so what the fuck happens? They leave, and then they get their fucking ship stolen by the meatball.
Yes.
Yes.
Meatball pirates
Immediately-
take their ship.
Immediately cuts.
That quick cut threw me off.
Yeah.
I was like,
Things moved really
They had
fast.
a lot
at
of
points.
those.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
3 or 4.
I mean, they were motivated, and it only put me off in the sense that like I'm just not used to a movie being like, well, you actually don't need to see this. It's not that important.
Yes.
And like
Well,
saving
yeah.
me that. Like bad movies will just make because they're like, well, it's what happened next, and it's like, yeah, but you can like,
Yeah, that's what, all right, let's move along the
Like,
plot.
when he,
yeah, you
was
can
on
like
the-
reveal
when
that
he was hanging
later.
off of it, and it was like suddenly like morning
Dawn.
light.
Yeah.
Oh
what
yeah,
happened?
it's super
Well,
crazy.
in the beginning, he like got to work and then saw the news and was like, "I'm going home." And then like his wife got home and his son got home. That makes no sense.
That's true. He
Yeah.
went to work.
The coffee made no
And like
sense.
when he like went home,
He got a
Like,
letter before he
yeah.
got into the office, and
And
then
his
he was
wife's
the next
home.
scene he's at
Time to
home,
leave.
And
and
his son's
everyone's
home.
getting home.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the,
Makes
and
no
then the
sense.
sister the daughter gets home right after all of
Yeah,
that.
Like, how long was the commute? Like, I
Yeah.
don't
I
understand.
mean, really,
Big
how else would
skits.
you cut that though in a movie? Like,
But they had
you
no-
write it
yeah,
differently.
you place the scene like
Yeah.
he gets the bike messenger shows
Yeah.
up while he's at his office.
There's
instead of
so
being on the
many
elevator.
ways
Yeah,
to
when he's
avoid
drinking
that.
coffee in the
later
morning.
that evening, just
Yeah,
type it
like-
out.
SpongeBob
But
later
it's
that
true.
evening.
He could have gotten it at a completely different time of day. He was like
It's true.
drinking his empty coffee cup.
But
Let-
we needed
let's keep in
that.
mind, like, we're talking about something
I
that
know.
a lot of people had a lot of input on and, like, made conscious decisions for. Like, everyone there had to have been aware that, like, this timeline doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, nobody will
Doesn't
notice.
matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah,
Well, it's the
and
same
that's
thing,
where
too.
you
We're just
got a
trying to move the
problem.
movie
Writing
along.
wise, it's like there were like
But
12
it isn't a problem.
fake
We were
out
just talking about how it's
conflicts.
wonderful.
I mean, you're right, but I'm saying, like,
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, but like
I'm
you
saying,
know,
like, the way the movie executes it, you end up not giving a shit. But
Yeah.
so many movies make that same exact mistake, and they don't, follow up with something
Yeah.
that's actually that entertaining.
yeah, and like so if like Kurt Russell hadn't been in it and hadn't been as much fun,
Oh, for sure.
you would have been like, okay, like what's the conflict? Like there's one main conflict, but there's like 12 fake outs, like the flare
Yeah.
and the gorillas. And like there are all these things that are like fake out like conflict rising action. And
Yeah.
it's actually the pirates.
Yeah.
It's actually losing the boat. So like Kurt Russell kind of saved it for me because it was like he's just so fun. I'm here
Well,
along
it-
the ride.
His character, like, set the movie off to go in directions that, like, it would have been boring if it hadn't, like, just quickly brisked over all of these things because Kurt Russell's there. He's
just wild card.
Yeah, he's literally the wild
card.
card.
Yeah.
Wild card.
So that's when they get their boat stolen and then they're on the raft and they end up in Cuba.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin Short turns into a racist. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they bring in, like, very sensitive political
Yeah,
issues.
yeah, like for a second. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, all right, well, all right.
Yeah, it's like-
moving along.
All right, for the kind of movie this has been, that's some heavy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But then like Captain Ron fucking rescues them, and they have a terrible chase scene. That's like, you know,
It's like trying to be Keystone
referential,
Cops. Yeah.
like in like classic comedy, but it's terrible. I hated it so much.
I thought it was like fine.
It was
Like,
frustrating just because I felt like I was in one of the cars.
Yeah,
It was
a
like,
little Benny Hill, like where they're running down the hallways the opposite direction. It was
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Super silly.
I think there's like a Keystone Cops one where the like car
Yes.
keeps passing like a rounded corner like that with all these different people chasing them.
it's
They
like,
keep coming out of different. Yeah, but it,
but
But in real
Yeah.
time,
but like
Yeah.
a lot more like a lot of stuff happens. It'll be like 5 cars each chasing a different person, and then there's like 6 different roads, and then like they're not being consistent where they come out of, and it's like fast and like yeah. So like it works in the original comedy. In this, it was just like, oh god.
Don't need,
It was
don't,
like kind of a
I'm
long
literally
sequence.
I'm literally watching a car brake and make a turn around a sharp corner.
yeah.
like a triangle.
Which was like, honestly, I feel like if I watch this movie more, I'll probably learn to love that scene.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah.
be like, it's just so clunky and shitty, and they probably meant exactly what they did.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Like for you to just be like, fuck,
Yeah.
this is so stupid.
Yeah. But then they get away so easily. So it's and then that kind of chase makes sense where it's like everybody's just moving really fucking slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's no oil. That Martin Short forgot to oil the fucking engine.
Yeah, they steal their boat back and then they break down anyways.
Which at the beginning
They
is
needed
a
to
great
kill
line
that
as
character
well
at
when
like
he's
10
just
minutes
talking
in.
about, oh man, these boats just need a lot of oil. And he's like, oh, why is that? He's like, nobody knows.
What does he say? He goes, an engine needs its oil like a sailor needs its needs its rum.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, that's certainly true. You know,
Martin Short's all like bright-eyed and like, oh yeah, you know, how charming.
Yeah.
Why
But then
did
he
they
looks
say
at Captain
that?
Ron and he goes like, whoa, why do you think it needs its oil so much? And it's like like the subtext is like, why do you think a sailor needs to drink rum so much? Like, are you a drunk? And then he's just like, oh, no one knows. Yeah.
I guess.
That's totally what they were doing. It was like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he like makes this concerned face when he hears that, but like fake laughs, and then
Well, it's like this whole thing about how like the boat's not sustainable. It's like Captain Ron's just like pouring more oil into it. Obviously, there's a leak. Like he's just
Ron
pouring
is
oil
the
into
boat.
it, and like yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my
Broke your brain.
figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was a mess. Now he's a polished con man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Han Solo
He's
in
someone
the
you can
Millennium
love
Falcon,
now.
dude.
Yes.
He's a polished con man ready to kill some people,
Come
driving
full
straight
circle.
into a sailor ship.
So this movie makes Han Solo look like the Solo movie. It just look like amateur hour.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, have some motherfucking fun.
Yeah, it's bad when you go, I watched Captain Ron and like I think it might be better than Solo. Wait, why would you compare the two?
Honestly, if Kurt Russell just played Han Solo, no one would give a shit.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
if you just
I'd
like were
accept
like,
it.
oh, just give another actor the fucking same role.
Who
Like,
cares?
Like the same age as Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Do it, yeah.
Do it.
like Harrison Ford would be like, that's hilarious. Just do it. Like, I don't give a fuck. I hate them.
Yeah, and then he plays it better than anyone's ever done it, and he's just like the new Han Solo forever.
I mean, yeah.
He's kind of like real life Han Solo, though. He kind of is.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's pretty fucking
Real life Han Solo. He's pretty real life. Yeah,
fucking crashing planes and just walking away.
yeah.
Oh, I broke my arm. Like, like what the fuck?
Yeah. Wait, you were a carpenter, like a full-time carpenter before you became an actor for 33 years? Are you Jesus? Well, yeah, they call me Han
Should've
Solo.
went on this one.
Oh my god, I'm talking about
Or
JC
Indiana
again?
Jones. I go by many names.
How the fuck did they? Would they start sailing? How the fuck did they get back
Well, like
after the oil
Captain
went dry?
Ron
So-
pretends like he broke his leg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a whole thing because like back in like when they're in Cuba and they're in the weird Benny Hill car situation, it's like this whole thing where the kids are kind of somewhat shitting on their dad, and they're like, man, he can never really make a go of it.
Yeah.
He's trying.
But then, well, the boy like really shits on him, and then the daughter kind of stands up for him.
And the mom just kind of looks sad, and it's like they're all acknowledging that they like maybe take him for granted or don't really understand what he's trying to do, and that maybe he's
what
like.
What the daughter say? Like
he's trying his best.
He's trying his best. Yeah.
Like maybe he's just like
Doing his
insecure,
best.
you know, and then
that warmed Kurt Russell's heart. And
Yeah,
he's like,
he
you
was
know
like-
what? I'm not gonna undermine this family anymore.
I'm gonna fake a broken leg so that the dad gets a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I really think the ultimate subtext of this movie is Kurt Russell really does just like undermine these men to win the other one, like people in his life.
Yeah.
Like that's his thing. Like he truly is like he was undermining him the whole movie until that moment, and then he like gives him the ability to shine, like or like stops trying to prevent him from being the family man or whatever.
Yeah, almost like he's learned to love the family enough that he's like giving up his like selfish pursuit to like con the family, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna like take the back seat and like let you guys have this.
Yeah.
And let the dad have this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for a movie at this time period, that kind of plot I think was like kind of typical, but this movie played it so subtle.
Yeah.
Like
Very
it
subtle.
did not like make
Even
it
when he like went down there and
obvious.
was like noticed his leg wasn't really hurt. They like just kind of it was such a
He
short
realized it.
interaction, and then it was just like over.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
like on to the next scene, and they're like turning around from that dock. Where they
Yeah.
Well,
saw
it's
the
like
guy on the boat.
they got a call or something from the Coast Guard, didn't they? Like that's what like broke it.
Yeah, they like actually have to start sailing the ship,
Yeah.
which is when they like work together as a family, and it's this big moment.
Yeah.
Martin Short's empowered as the dad,
They're not, like-
and then they meet the Coast Guard, and it's like we're saved.
Yeah.
20 minutes later.
Talk to him,
Yeah.
Captain.
Uh-huh.
You're the
Cast
captain.
You're
the
the captain
baton,
now.
and it's
Yeah. And it's like until 2 hours ago I was trying to destroy your entire family and fuck your wife.
But then your daughter said something kind of like a little shitty, and I was like, ugh.
Ooh, she's so slutty. She was like,
Like-
oh my god, what did she say to the like
About her being
shipmate?
engaged, but it's informal.
Oh no,
It's
that's
no
what
big
she's saying about like
deal,
the
yeah.
boys. What's the part that we kept on going back to? Because Chase wanted to watch it again. I can't.
I didn't mean to watch it
I
again.
know, I know you
Missed it.
did it.
Yeah, what was
The like it hit the shoulder button and it just fucking bounced back.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So she's just like, like whatever she does. is just-
Who's rocking the boat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Underneath the boat.
yeah.
No, it
Oh
was
my
worse when
God.
she was saying it to the boys in the convertible.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm engaged, but it's like informal.
She's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, fuck.
Immediately. There was not even a conflict. They took her away from the boyfriend, and in the first day she was like, yeah, whatever.
She's 16. It
Yeah.
totally
And
makes
she's-
sense.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't.
No,
it
yeah,
totally,
but it's so
yeah.
funny. You're like, oh my god.
And then
yeah.
she's talking to the guy who's like a local artist and stuff, and Martin Short's like, no boy with a spider on his head is gonna be able to find out. And I'm like, is that a Jungle to Jungle reference?
We have to watch Jungle to Jungle now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Canceling next week's movie to watch Jungle to Jungle.
No, we can't do that.
I'm kidding. I'm not really excited to watch Jungle to Jungle.
No, we don't have to watch it.
He watches it on his own by himself.
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
excited.
watch it, and then I'm gonna talk
I
to
leave
you
this
about it.
podcast and go home and watch it.
Let's go home and watch this. I stay up all night.
Our next episode, we're like, so after we recorded last week, I watched Jungle to Jungle.
Twice.
Yeah. Wait, I did too.
Fuck, let's move in together.
I think after this, we need to get an apartment together.
Let's start fucking collecting Jungle to Jungle VHS tapes. Build a house out of them.
Just scouring the well.
I don't know if you can do that, but you can do that with Jerry Maguire
Yes, you
tapes.
can.
We can do it like we can do it on Minecraft and like just like it'll be like a hack, you know.
Yeah, we'll program in the
The
Jungle to
VHS
Jungle
tapes.
VHS tapes.
God, these are
We go
so
chop down
funny.
trees in their Jungle to Jungle VHS tape.
Do you remember when we were in Austin, the guy who introduced Vertigo was wearing a shirt that was just like tiled Jerry Maguire like
Oh,
VHS
really?
covers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's all I could think of. That
That's
people
great.
collect that. It's
That's so
weird.
fucking crazy.
Yeah. We watched a guy in Austin drive a nail through his nose into his sinuses and then shock the nail
Tased
with a
himself in the
taser.
face.
Yeah. And
It
he
was
was
insane.
entertaining as hell, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
it was great.
He
He
was
had a three-legged
incredible.
dog and he had green hair, like that guy who shot at the movie theater.
And it was in a space as
Colorado.
big as this room. Like we were right next, like in front of him, and he was just like shoving nails in his face and bringing balloons through his like nostrils, and then just like he was
Yeah.
doing like the fucking Hereditary thing with the net,
Yeah,
but
it
just
was
like in his
He was
nose.
just like, and he did it with a balloon too, and he like tied a balloon animal like through his nose. That was weird. And then, and in the same room there, he had his three-legged dog, which
Yep.
he was.
The dog
sweet.
was just like walking
He was
around
just
like
chilling, yeah. And then it was like the Iceman of Minneapolis or whatever. The like.
there's like a frozen Iceman corpse right next to
Yeah,
him.
it was supposed to be like way back, like 30 years ago or something. Some
Yeah,
guy
some P.T.
said
Barnum
he had,
shit.
Yeah, some guy said he
Kinda.
had Bigfoot,
It's like a-
basically frozen in a storage unit, and then people called him on it, like the Bigfoot Society called him on it, and he was like, "Oh no, it's gone," and it's like disappeared, and then they like said they had it, and it was like.
It was
matched
just
the
like a-
description, but it was totally like a suit frozen with like
Yeah.
like the eyes out of the
That's so
socket.
It was
the
just
funny.
arm is
very
up,
well
and-
made.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
But it
very
was
realistic
blast.
looking.
If you
but
listen to
yeah.
the last podcast about Bigfoot hunters, they talk specifically about the Iceman.
Oh my
Like
god.
that-
So when we
yeah.
went in, I like lost my mind because I was like, "Oh my god, it's here! Like they're totally referencing
Yeah.
this." And then that guy shocked himself.
Yeah,
in the
and then
face. It
and then there
crazy.
was a guy who did a freak show 2 feet in front of us.
Yeah, and then
he
he
was
was
just
like-
yeah.
He was so informal about it too, though. He was like, "Yeah, I kind of just do this for tips." Like he didn't work there or something.
He was like, they don't pay
so
me, but they
weird.
let me use the back room like this.
Yeah, and
He's
I'm
like,
sure it was part of the bit, but we were
Yeah.
just like, "Okay, have some cash," like because we felt weird.
yeah.
Yeah,
When
it
he did the
worked.
nail, he was like, sometimes I pass out when I do this, but this is the first show of the night, so it probably won't happen this
Oh
time.
my god.
And then he just shocks it, and he just goes,
It was he said the last time he did it, some kid went, "That's it."
Oh
and
my
he goes,
favorite.
yeah, glad I could amuse you.
I loved it. It was great. It was so much fun. It
There was
so,
this
like,
guy
cheesy.
one time who literally had like a sphere, like the octagonal sphere just all around him, and it was on wheels, and he has drums. He just had his drums like all over the fucking thing.
Oh my goodness.
And he was just like pedaling through the streets on this thing and just like playing drums like so fucking awesome.
Oh my
like it
God.
was so cool. But he would have like cymbals like up above him, like all these crazy different things. It was awesome as hell.
That sounds great.
People are fucking nuts there.
In
They
Austin.
do some cool shit.
Yeah. I want to go back. It was cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Cool place. Anyways,
But
Ron Rico.
Yeah, pretty much the end of this movie. Happy ending, nice stuff, and then what they're saying goodbye to Ron.
Yes.
He disappears behind a bus.
He finally comes back to America because
Yeah.
the statute of limitations is up.
He fucking
They
says
very
goodbye,
say.
kisses the wife goodbye.
Yeah.
He Frenches the wife
And
goodbye.
yeah, and Martin Short's
No.
like, I think it might have been a French
False.
kiss. Like, it was, like, totally fine with them all of a sudden.
Yeah, and
He's
like everything was fine, and that was like
the wife was just like,
he stepped
okay.
over the line like right at the end.
like,
it was
well,
like-
I sailed the boat, so I'm secure in my masculinity now, so you can French kiss my wife goodbye. Like,
Yeah,
was
it's
no
just
big deal.
super dick. Like I just thought of like the bully from like the first season of Fargo, like just doing that shit to
Yeah.
Martin Freeman's wife or some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
And then he murders both
and
of
Martin
them.
Freeman's wife is just like, what? Like, it's fine. Like
You were weak anyways.
you're a weak person and he took over.
Yeah. That's normal. It's natural.
Yeah, it's called natural selection.
Well, you know what
Survival
else?
of the fittest.
Well, you know what else is natural, babe? A wrench in your face.
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
You should rewatch that season.
Ooh, it's so
It's,
God, Martin
Oh,
Freeman
yeah.
going ham.
I love it.
Dark.
Yeah. Great shit.
He's
Dark
so
as
good.
fuck.
Great shit.
Uh,
We'll do
But yeah,
season 4 as our.
But then the fucking the ending of the movie.
yes.
Captain Ron shows up on this couple's boat, And it's like, oh,
Small boat.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a
very,
little
very
speedboat.
small boat.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll show you how to drive. I don't even know if he's teaching them how to drive or he's like going to take them somewhere or what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
It made it seem like they hadn't even bought the boat yet. He was just like trying to
Yeah.
get away from something
Yeah,
again.
it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was brand new. And
Honeymoon
we
face
don't really know
shopping.
what to do.
Yeah.
And
He's
like,
dressed all like Miami, like kind of
Oh,
like
yeah,
John,
he's
kind
like
of like
Miami
John
Vice style.
Travolta,
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, he's like Miami Vice meets the talented Mr. Ripley in that scene, and
Did
Patrick
he have
Bateman
the eye
a little
patch
bit.
in the last scene?
No.
No,
Yes.
No, he has
Yeah.
sunglasses, but
Oh,
like
that's
he
right,
could have had
yeah.
the eye patch on under. I don't know. I know
because that
he-
was the gag in the
that
first
was the
scene.
gag in the
Yeah.
first scene
Yeah.
for sure.
But there were other scenes that, like when he was wearing the sunglasses and not the eye patch, like on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he gets this couple on the boat, and he's like, "That's fine," and he like rips the cleat out of the dock
Yeah.
with the rope on it. Like he doesn't even
He goes,
untie
oh,
the boat.
you forgot to untether there.
Like
It's all
he's
right.
not the
Pro.
person teaching them how to use a boat, and he
Yeah.
just starts essentially driving off into the sunset. But the sunset is a giant cruise ship that he's
You're
just
like,
like,
they'll
watch out
move.
for other
Boat
boats,
into.
which is callback line, and they're just like, oh, they'll get out of the way.
They always
Yeah.
do.
I love that was controversial. People are so
Yeah.
It was so
Crazy.
weird,
Yeah.
It is like
sensitive.
crazy. It shows it for a while, and you're like, okay,
They're gonna
is he
crash.
gonna? Oh,
Yeah.
he's definitely gonna hit that boat, and
yeah.
then just
Yeah.
roast to credits.
Yeah.
it's funny.
It is funny. It's
It
pretty
was good,
crazy.
yeah.
It's kind of a
You're just
dark
like,
ending,
Damn.
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was fitting too. Like it kind of fit. Like he's just like winging it, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they just show you can like show
How he
him
is.
doing it.
Captain
yeah.
Ron too, dude.
Captain
Oh,
Ron
I
too.
We
see
need
it.
it.
Oh man, like
Can you
aging Kurt
imagine?
Russell. Oh, I'm in.
Dude.
Aging Martin Short.
With his
Yes.
wardrobe
No,
now.
no. Just
Yeah.
we don't
Just
even
Kurt
need
Russell.
Martin short. Martin,
shirt.
Martin
Martin
green
shirt.
polo shirt.
Martin Green polo shirt.
He is one with the polo shirt, Martin's dress.
We don't need him. We just need Captain Ron to like completely other movie, like
Yeah.
new framework.
Well, Pirates of the Caribbean, it's just gonna be about Captain Ron now.
Yeah.
Forget all the
Oh
other
my God.
characters. Yeah, we've come full circle.
Thank God
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Russell was never finagled into doing any like
Yes.
pirates on
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
You know
So
who
I can
need,
totally see him.
You know who needs to play against Kurt Russell in that movie? Fucking Nicolas Cage.
No.
Given
Oh.
given the right role,
Yeah,
that would be
I'm
a
in.
great
If it
movie.
was
So
like
any role.
if it was Captain Ron
Right.
2, written by Will Ferrell and Adam McKay, then
Yes.
that Nicolas
all that
Cage
serious
in
shit
it.
in there, but it's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, but Adam McKay and like. you
I'm gonna
know,
tweet that at them.
The big short
I'm gonna
style,
tweet that
yeah.
at Will Ferrell and Adam
I'm in.
McKay. Guys, we need a Captain Ron 2. It's a combination of the talented Mr. Ripley and Bugs Bunny from Looney Tunes, and it's a little darker than the first movie.
Well, you have to say Bugs Bunny from Looney Tunes.
From Looney
In case
Tunes,
you weren't familiar.
and Nicolas
bring,
Cage
like, a little bit of the
is
big
in it.
short level like.
Well, no, it's just
social
implied by
commentary
tweeting
in
at
there,
them that
please.
they're gonna bring that to the table.
You gotta let him know.
No,
I'm
they'll
thinking
do it.
like Nicolas Cage is gonna play the kind of what is it, West Mantooth
Yeah.
kind of role.
Yeah. But I want to see him do that, and I want to see him do that in the right
Non-antagonist.
hands.
Doom doom down. Oh my
It's just
God.
Con Air, but older, with older people.
I'm in, but as a sequel to a
To-
1992 film.
To Captain
I'm in.
Ron.
I mean, they're doing it all the time these days. Come
The
on, let's
Incredibles.
go.
That would be a
15
more
years
inter-
later? Come on.
That's
that would be a
pretty
more
crazy.
interesting.
Yeah, there have been worse.
Like-
Same with like Finding Dory though. It was like 11 years later.
Yeah.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was very good.
I figure, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I
Incredibles
need
was
to.
14 years later. Let's see what else.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Cars
That's
2
nuts.
was 6 years later,
Like there's
and that movie sucks.
You can go. Whatever.
I hate cars.
Cars suck. Let's be
Cars
real.
sucks.
Cars sucks
You know you're
so
talking
much.
about the movie when the grammar's like that.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
I'm kidding.
How dare they make 3 and like take this long to make an Incredibles 2? I'm offended.
I know that's why Owen
That
Wilson
is
tried to
pretty
kill
crazy,
himself.
but like I feel like it was like
No.
it was so good, like you didn't want to like
Get
touch
outta
it,
here.
you know?
Yeah.
Take your microphone
took,
away.
They took their time. I get it.
Yeah.
It was Marley and me, please.
Okay, well I guess that's all we have to say about Captain Ron.
Captain Ron's awesome.
yeah.
I want to hang out with
Anyways.
Captain Ron.
Oh my God,
Incredibles
me
2.
too.
See it.
It's Snake. It's Snake Plissken if he was in Sublime.
Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
You're all gross. But we definitely all recommend this movie, obviously.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's amazing.
5 motherfucking out of 5.
That was a
10 out of
blast.
10.
5
Everything.
Kurt
5
Russell's
motherfucking out of
like
5's appropriate.
five.
Everything's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Loved it so much. But yeah, thanks.
10 Pirates of the Caribbean out of 10 Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, you just took my joke and amplified it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even hear you.
I said 5 for Captain Ron.
10 creepy ass Captain Jack Sparrows.
Oh, I'm so glad he's not in this.
Oh my
Me too.
god. What if though?
If Johnny Depp,
Johnny Depp
if Jack Sparrow
went
now
off the deep
went in-
end that early in 1992 and was just like crazy person his whole life.
Hey guys, I was in
And
that
then
show 21 Jump Street, and I'm crazy now. You can call me Scissorhands.
Oh. That's what her dog is like. Her dog is like Edward Scissorhands because his
not.
claws are just so terrible, and he wants to love you, but he's like, oh no, and you're like, no, please don't. He just wants to hug you and love you, and you're like, ah.
No,
And he's
I'm
like,
not Vincent Price. I'm not Vincent
I'm
Price.
not trying to hurt you, I swear.
Appropriately, so everyone knows. They're sharp.
Yeah, it's funny though.
just loves-
When I imagine that, it makes it better.
Yeah.
He's just Edward Scissorhands,
He likes
trying
Ellen
not to
so
hurt
much.
you.
He's like, he loves you, and he's trying not. He's trying so hard.
But he knows your personality though. Like he like is crazy with Alan, and like with me, he's like he like spins and like is cute, but he won't jump on me. It'd be crazy.
Try to get nuts.
But with Alan, he's
dogs.
He like plays with him, so he's like I can be like crazy with Alan. Like he'll hit me on the knee and like bend down and like lick me. And Alan will just be like crazy.
Yes, circles spinning.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like when I lay down on my bed, he like gets in a certain spot and like lays. With Alan, he's like, if Alan's in my bed, he like scratches my face, like gets mad.
Yeah. No,
He's
she was
jealous.
literally doing yoga. I showed up,
Yeah.
opened up her
Oh
door,
my
walked in her
fucking
room,
God.
and Kobe was on the bed and jumped off onto Dina's face. 'Cause he was so
Made my
excited.
mouth bleed. Yeah.
No.
He's
And I was like, oh, fuck.
He's
Like,
so different when Alan's around. It's crazy. He's very like.
You seem happy about that.
no, not at
There's a
all.
different, like,
He was
energy
just like
towards
so
him.
excited. Like he just like,
He loves Alan, but it's like
Forgot
different. Like, when I
about
come home,
Dina,
he'll
which was
he'll do
cool.
like a spin and like he'll jump up but like keep his like paws in and like kiss me because like I'm like I've like taught him with trees. I'm like kisses, like no paws. Like I've done it. I've researched it.
used to it.
Yeah, and so like he'll kiss me, like he'll be so sweet, and we get in bed, and, like.
are you talking
he
about
gets
Captain
behind
Ron?
me. Yeah, I'm talking about Martin Short actually. Like get behind me, and he's so sweet. And then Alan shows up, and he's like a crazy person.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
Well, he sounds like a fucking badass.
He's
What? I feed his wild side. Jack Links. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
funny. Funny. It's very crazy how different. But yeah, I was like on the floor and I was like doing, and like I was like, text me when you're coming here so I know. And he never texted me.
I'm never like, I need to never come through your door without knocking ever
Yes,
again.
and I was
because
laying.
Just announce
He
with your
literally-
voice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Kobe's
Hello?
like, he's smart. He's a well-trained, like super smart Dalmatian, and like Alan just came through the door and he like, landed right on my face,
Oh my god.
like, and it just hurt so bad, and I was like, I'm fine. I was like bleeding.
I mean, what can I say? You know. Just kidding.
You can say, "I'm sorry,
Which
the
he would
dog
never.
made your mouth bleed."
Yeah, he didn't say anything. He was just.
A bullshit. I'm not saying it on mic.
No, but it's very.
I'm not apologizing for the record.
He's so
This was a
smart. He
private
can,
moment.
he
This
can,
happened a while ago.
differentiate people's personalities for sure. Like he knows Christian's personality and yours and mine and Elena's. Like the people who are like over so much. He like,
Catches it.
knows how to act to who. It's very crazy. He's very smart.
He's a sweet dog. I only met him the one time, but
He's very sweet.
very sweet.
Captain Ron is a sweet.
Is that what you're gonna call him from now on?
No,
No, he's Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
He's
very
Kobe.
good.
Kobe. Hurdy claws. I don't know. Terrible.
Terrible?
No, my joke was terrible. But anyway, Captain Ron was amazing. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Thank you guys.
And thank both of you for being on.
Yeah.
Kobe says thanks.
I hope both of you are on again soon.
Jingle all the way, definitely.
man.
Don't
Christmas movies.
Don't look
Yeah.
under the bed.
And,
yeah.
But I'm a cheerleader.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Listen, if you do Disney originals, I'm a trained professional in all those movies.
Yeah.
so.
Well, the Disney
He's
original
a
one.
smart house. Just kidding.
He's a smart house.
Smart guy.
I know.
I remember it now. Tosh Mallory?
Yes,
Is that it?
yes, Tia and Tamara's little brother.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my God,
Sister,
Tia and
sister,
Tamara.
way better.
Tia and
Yeah.
Tamara.
The famous
I
Jet
remember-
Jackson.
Smart guy was a
I remember waiting for Smart Guy, like getting excited for Smart Guy, like I got excited for Chappelle's show.
Yeah, like 2 years later. Yeah.
I love it. I forgot that was
Okay, well,
But let's shut this motherfucker down.
guests are walking away, so we have to say goodbye.
It's okay, we're done.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram at Coming of Age Pod.
And please follow our Twitter at comingofagepod_ because we're getting tortured here. Like, it's hurting. You have to follow us. It won't stop. It can't stop.
We won't stop.
We won't stop because we can't stop. It won't let us stop. Follow our Twitter, please.
We love you. Bye.
Bye, fuck you.